Good morning, everybody. It is 6:35 a.m. here in Indiana, and I wanted to come on and show you guys one of the things that I had planned for this month, which was how to make a gratin potatoes in your kitchen with pre-assembled mixes that you actually assemble. So this way you don't have to go to the store and buy the individual boxes, and you don't have to make it fresh. You can actually prepare this ahead of time and put it in Mylar bags with the oxygen absorbers. And you can make this as part of your long-term food storage kit, or you can also just make this to put some in your pantry to use. You can make up the mix ahead of time and just keep the mix if you don't want to dehydrate potatoes or don't have a way to do that. And you can use the mix on fresh potatoes as well as dehydrated ones. Now, the really nice thing about using dehydrated potatoes is you can get potatoes for free at the end of the season if you live near a potato farm. In northern Indiana, there is a potato chip farm, and they literally throw away any potato that is imperfect. So once a year, they send out an offer to people, and you can go to the potato farm and you can glean as many potatoes as you can possibly pick up and put in your vehicle and bring back home. Normally, we bring 400 to 500 pounds of potatoes home, and with those, I can some, I dehydrate some, and then I give some of those to local soup kitchens and food pantries or other people that I personally know that have an interest in preserving food. There are many ways you can dehydrate potatoes. You can make hash browns. You can make potato slices like what I have here. I don't know how well this is going to come through on camera, so let me pull one of these out. This is just a dehydrated potato slice. Mine are a little thicker than what you would probably get if you bought a box mix, but that's okay. Also, I leave the skins on. I just wash them really good, and I don't worry about taking those skins off because they really don't hurt anything. And as long as you get everything off those skins, there's a lot of vitamins there. So I leave those on. This is about 3 cups of dehydrated potatoes. I know that looks like a lot more, but it's because of how they are laying in the jar. So anyway, about 3 cups. And then I have already assembled my mixes, but I'm going to tell you what's in this. And I will have a blog post up later today detailing all of this. So if you're going to do this for long-term storage, I would not use these little plastic bags. These little plastic bags can be found in craft stores, and they are actually for jewelry making, to hold supplies and stuff, but they also work really great in the kitchen. They're a really good size for small things, and like I said, if you're doing this for long-term storage, use Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers instead of these. But I'm actually going to be making this tonight, so I'm good like this. These little baggies do keep the air out. You could put an oxygen absorber in here if you wanted to put this in your pantry. I would also suggest putting oxygen absorbers in this. I had about 6 in this jar, but the jar was all the way full. I removed those because this is the end of my dehydrated potatoes, so it's time to restock. But anyway, inside of this baggie, and these are all items that you can buy locally or that you can order on places like Amazon. That's where we got the butter powder. We actually found a place called Squirrel Creek Foods. It's up by Rowan, and they sell the cheese powder. So that's where we got that out. But anyway, in this bag, I have 2 tablespoons of powdered milk. I have 2 tablespoons of flour, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 3 tablespoons of butter powder. And like I said, I got that on Amazon. It is from a company here in Indiana, so I was really happy about that. A teaspoon of garlic powder. Now, if you don't like garlic, you could use onion powder or onion flakes, or just omit that if you wanted. 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/4 cup of cheese powder. Now, if that's too much cheese for you, you could reduce that to 1/3 of a cup, but I like cheese. So, and then what I did, I shook it down, now that I've done this, and I rolled it with it opened, because you want to get all the air out of this. I literally rolled it over on itself like this and pressed the air out, and there you go. Now I'm going to put this inside right here on top of these potatoes. Okay, and then the next thing that I need is I need 1/3 cup of powdered milk. That's what this is. Again, I just put it in here. I rolled this, pushed the air out, and I'm going to put this in here. Now, and then I'm going to put a lid on. These plastic lids, if you don't know, are great for canning jars. They're sold right with the canning jars, and I have a ton of them. I love them. So there, in my jar, is everything that I need except for the water to make my gratin potatoes. So to make these tonight, all I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the packets, and I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to dump these into my cast iron skillet. I am going to shake this up a little better than what I did. And then I'm going to sprinkle this over the top. And then I'm going to put this powdered milk into 2 3/4 cups of boiling water and dissolve it. Then I'm going to pour the water on. I'm going to bake it at 400 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes. In the blog post, I'm going to give you some different times and temperatures, just in case you want to cook these with meat or whatever it is you want to cook them with. And basically, right there is my entire box mix of gratin potatoes ready to go. It's great to keep some of these in the pantry, and like I said, if you are thinking about long-term storage, you're not going to use these up in, say, 3 to 6 months or so, go ahead and put them in the Mylar bags. That's going to make it for long-term storage. And also, if you have a freeze dryer, freeze dry these potatoes instead of dehydrating them. But however you do it, you want to blanch potatoes. The first year that I did this, I did not blanch my potatoes, and they were horribly starchy. We used them because we had them, and so we pretty much had to. But you definitely want to take that time to blanch the potatoes and get that starch out, and then go through with the dehydrating or the freeze drying, or however you're going to preserve these. Now, let's say you want to make the mixes, you want to make the little packets of mixes, but you don't have the dehydrated potatoes. It is about 3 to 4 medium-sized potatoes that you would just slice up and use fresh. So I hope that has helped some of you guys. Like I said, this is really easy, something that anyone can do, and it's a great way to go from the processed foods into something that you can do yourself at home and doesn't have all of those processed ingredients and preservatives in them, because you've got everything right here. Now, I also want to say I do not dehydrate any milk products. I actually buy the cheese and I buy the butter already done. It's a safety issue. It's just really not safe to do it at home, and I know a lot of people do, but I do not recommend that. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, leave them below. Thanks for watching. And like I said, I will have that blog post up today. That's the plan. And then I will come back and drop the link in the group. I hope all of you have a wonderful day.